What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us live right now on the RMFantasy SXperts show. I am Chase.
This is Kobe.
And we are here live. And look, we got Max Miller phoning in today. If you
might already be in here.
He might already be in the
We're
chat.
going to find out, but yeah, Max Miller.
He's punctual.
Punctual for sure in his writing, too.
Yes, yes. And, if you guys watched the Monday show, we had a highlight of him. Levi can throw that up here. Yep. He had quite the, minute 10, minute 15 seconds in in the main event last week, or the LCQ. So
we were excited to talk to him about it.
Yeah, we're going to ask him all about that.
Well, what's up, everybody? Alexander. So formal with afternoon, gentlemen.
Yeah, it is. It is afternoon.
Chase was smart. I just pounded some Alfredo. I'm slow moving.
Yeah,
I do have to apologize.
It was an employee luncheon today, and they had catered Olive Garden.
Yep. Lucky us. How lucky are we?
It's pretty good. I mean, I just did a salad and all the meats. I stayed away from that Alfredo, though.
Should have taken some notes out of your book.
Oh, gosh.
What's up, people?
Yes, so we are headed into Arlington. Triple Crown.
Yep, another Triple Crown.
Okay.
That does change things a little bit.
A little bit, it does. And I think with maybe it affects Sexton. I mean, his only win this year is a Triple Crown.
Is the Triple Crown.
So maybe we're on to something. So first up, before we dive into it, and then we get Max on the phone here shortly, let's get our weekly prizes up there for grabs. What do we have?
On my list.
Let me look that up while Levi just... there we go.
MSR gear set, which not only is first place in our weekly prizes getting one, but we are going to be giving one away here at the end of the show with our meme
we
contest,
selected our favorite
which we
memes.
will talk about more later. But yeah, first place with that MSR gear set. Second, Fast House coming in with some gear as well, and a Bridgestone set of tires in third. That's your podium. And wrapping up the rest of the weekly prizes, we've got Fly in fourth, a Cherubi Pro Taper with their Cella device, which is awesome, LS2 Subverter Evo helmet, can't go wrong with the new helmet, and Start device, an attack hour meter from Works Connection. Those things, they last. I love those hour meters. Had them on plenty of bikes. Some Tusk MX tires, just put a fresh one of those on my bike for this weekend. And then Fox wrapping it up in
Jesse
10th.
Trauma says it's snowing in Los Angeles right now.
Did you see Glen Helen has a dusting of snow on top of it?
Does it really?
Yep.
Wow.
I've been off the gram, but I did have someone show that to me.
We just got pummeled yesterday here in Utah. I had to turn around to go home to get my truck.
It was a rough morning.
And then I got stuck in the middle of the road. It was bad.
It was so bad. We've been getting teased with this spring-like weather too the past couple weekends. I was out riding last weekend. I was like, it's here.
In the 20 years that I've lived here in Utah, I think that was probably the worst 24 hours of storming that I've seen.
Yeah. It was like a foot of snow.
It was
almost.
pretty nasty. Yep. All right, well...
sounds like Max is ready to rip.
Are we ready to rock and roll?
So I say we waste no time.
Well, look, this man right here had one of the most eventful LCQs we've seen in a while last weekend. So, yeah, let's get him on the phone here, and let's hear from his perspective.
Absolutely.
All right. Max, how are we doing?
What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, we're honestly probably doing a little better than you as far as health goes right now. Or are you good from last week?
Is the soreness gone?
Yeah, no, I'm all good. A little bit sore, but I'm actually riding out here today. It's raining down in California, so we're at a little turn track, burning in some laps.
Heck yeah! How's the dirt?
It's pretty good. We're definitely splashing puddles today.
Nice.
But it's good practice, and it's nice to get some outdoor riding in.
How much of your training is a day like today, where you're doing turn tracks as opposed to riding a supercross track?
I mean, during the Supercross season, not too much. A few weeks ago, I came out to this same place after some rain just because there was nowhere to ride outdoors. But I like coming out to the turn tracks, and this one's been around a long time, so it's super rough, and we got a really long lap time put together. It's about 4 minutes, so we do long motos out here, and I think it's really good practice. You know, obviously it's good for the cardio, but the technique as well.
For sure. And before we get into what Chase really wants to talk about, which is your racing last week,
we got plenty of time to get there.
Let's get to know you a little bit, Max. Where you don't live? Well, you probably live in Cali now, but you're not from California, right?
I'm from Oregon, Eugene.
My sister lives in Springfield. Levi behind the camera right now. He's from Bend, and I'm from Ashland.
I'm the only guy not from Oregon here. Well, I feel a little left out now.
That's all right, dude.
Well, I say Eugene, but I grew up in Springfield, or I live in Springfield. But you know, a lot of people don't know Springfield.
Yeah, you're in the same area code as my sister. Then that's pretty cool.
How did you Have you just ridden and raced your entire life? I saw you were a part of Orange Brigade, right? As a kid?
Yep.
Did that take you through Loretta's? Did you end up racing Loretta's, do anything like that?
Yeah, I pretty much started racing just as a little guy on 50s. I started riding motorcycles because my older brother had just a 50 he rode around the farm, and I was super into it and wanted to get after it. And then shortly after that, my whole family started riding a little bit, and then my dad and I were really the only ones that stayed at it. And I started going to amateur nationals, and then here or there. And then when I was about it was probably 2013 or 14. I got signed to the Orange Brigade team, and I was with them all the way until I turned pro. So did the whole 9 yards, Loretta's. I got to race like the Junior World Championships twice for Team USA. That was pretty awesome experiences.
Nice.
For sure.
Yeah. So then, then I went pro, and here we are.
Is the scene pretty good in Southern Oregon, where I still have an older brother that lives down there in the Medford area? There's really not much for moto down there. Like it's a lot. They do a lot of trail riding and stuff like that. He's got a couple private tracks, but the moto scene, as far as motocross, is not that great. Is it any better in the Eugene area, or do you have to get up to like Hillsboro up in that region before you start getting more tracks and whatnot?
There's a few. The Northwest motos kind of come back around a little bit. There's Eugene MX, that's where I grew up riding. It's out off like Territorial Highway, kind of out by the Eugene Airport.
Okay.
And then Albany, which is about 40 minutes from my house. They're always running. I rode there like every Wednesday during the summer growing up.
Hey, what was the track you and I went to, Kobe?
I can't remember.
We were just in Oregon for the 250R release last year.
No, it was over
2 years ago.
A couple years ago.
It was by Mount Hood Resort out there, and it was like somebody's backyard. It was in Mountain View.
Mountain View, sweet track.
Yeah, you drive past a person's house, like in their driveway, basically to a backyard track. You been there before?
Oh yeah, that place is so rad.
That's
super
awesome.
Cool.
They had a whole bunch of. They dumped like massive amounts of wood chips all over it.
Yeah,
so
dirt was a little interesting.
It was a little interesting,
the
but
layout was phenomenal.
It was rad.
So your whole. You said your family got into it. Do you have siblings? You said not so much anymore, but is this brothers? I can just appreciate a family that loves moto. Myself, that's kind of the story. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I'm the youngest. I have 2 sisters and an older brother, and at one point they all rode.
Really?
But never really got too serious. More on the local level. Mm-hmm. Friends and family would go out to the races. We'd camp out there. When I was a kid, the Northwest motocross scene was super big. It was really, really popular. That was when like Josh Hill was like the man when I was on like 50s. He was out there riding. Like they used to have these big local races that were like super packed and had big pro purses, and lots of dudes would show up. And so that was cool. That was just like kind of when I was probably 4, 5, 6 years old. And then about that time when I was probably 6 or 7, my other siblings kind of got out of it a little bit. And that's when I kind of ramped it up, started going to more races like the Dodge Amateur National. And then my dad and I took off and went to Texas for the Spring Nationals. And yeah.
Heck yeah.
That's cool.
Maybe I'm mistaken. How about that before the Washougal National? I swear there's a track nearby that does the night show. It's a little SX style. Have you raced that? And do you know what I'm referring to?
Yeah, that's PIR. It's the Thursday night motocross. It's at the Portland International Speedway.
Have you raced that?
First Raceway. I've ridden there. Like when I was little, I didn't go up there too much just because I was in public school. So driving to Portland was a few hours away, and you'd race at night, and then having to go back to school on Friday was tough.
That makes sense.
Hard for the old man to drive me up there, but I rode there a few times. It's lots of fun. Super cool event. I went and watched it this last time for the anniversary race, which is right before Washougal. That one's always crazy, awesome racing.
They usually seem to get at least a couple big names out there. I see like Ryan Sipes is usually there.
Well, they used to do it before. They do it before Washougal, right?
So they're
you'd have nearby. A lot of like the kind of like privateer guys. Like I know Entic Knapp and just a lot of those guys that were maybe like not scoring points and stuff. They'd go race it, or even the guys that were scoring points.
More seat time. I saw you did a video. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it was you. You filmed a little bit with Ryan Villapoto. Do you remember that? Or am I correct there?
Yep.
Did you know him before that?
Video for motorsport.com. A few years ago, we rode like Beaumont Hills and did like a cool it was called Boundless, where we went out and rode some trails and
Sure.
and did a few little jumps and whatnot. That was a really fun experience.
Was that your first time meeting him, or was that an existing connection?
I know him from before, but that was the first time we hung out like quite a bit.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, he wasn't I didn't know him too well back like when he lived in the Northwest. I'd see him every once in a while, but I was pretty young when he was an amateur and
Sure.
going through all that stuff. But I got to hang out with him a lot that day, and then I see him around every once in a while.
Sweet.
Right on.
One more for you before we get into more of the modern stuff. I was just curious, obviously growing up in the amateur ranks, I'm sure your dad was really involved. Does he still have quite a bit of involvement with your pro career, or is that kind of fizzled out and you've got a different mechanic or anything like that?
So I have a mechanic, but my dad goes to all the races, and actually during the outdoor season, he put his bike on the truck and on the Rides Unlimited truck, and he raced every amateur day for all the outdoors, except for there was 2 rounds that didn't have amateur days, but he raced every single one. So he's still very much involved, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, he doesn't stay with me out in California for the most part. Like he'll drop in here or there, but he still is a huge part of my program.
That's super cool. I'm super appreciative and grateful that my dad still rides and races too. So that's super, super cool to hear.
Hey, all right, Max. Let's dive into this. Tell us about your team. Excuse me, because I'm gonna be totally honest. I did not even know or realize that Rocky Mountain was a part of this whole amateur program. Mm-hmm. So explain what the team and everything that's going on that you're on right now.
So I'm on the Rocky Mountain Rides Unlimited team, and during like Loretta's last year, or like right before Loretta's, Rocky Mountain jumped on board and became, I believe, our title sponsor for the rig. So that was cool. That was really rad for that to come about. And then they're the title sponsor for our team now, which is we're not on the original Rocky Mountain team. A lot of people mix that up.
Okay.
We're the Rides Unlimited team, but Rocky Mountain jumped in, and so now they're our full-time sponsor for this Supercross season and then through outdoors.
Nice. And now is the Rides Unlimited team the owner? Because I don't know much about the owner of the team. Is it kind of a team that's based around helping out riders, like the privateer riders, trying to just get them excelled in their career and moving on to the next step, kind of, or is it just, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so they have like an amateur team as well. It's
okay.
It started out as an amateur thing. So Greg Geisler has 2 sons that race, my buddy Jonah and Lucas, and so Jonah's racing East Coast, so he'll be at Arlington this weekend, and then Lucas rides amateurs, and it started as like an amateur team. So I don't know a whole bunch about the whole amateur side of it. I wasn't a part of it then, but since Jonah's pro, it's also now a pro team, and I knew them from my rookie season 2021, and when I was racing with them, they had just a couple riders on the team, but now they only did 1 coast then, but now they do 2 coasts, and the team's expanding and growing, and so hopefully we'll get to see more. We have some great racers on the team right now. It's myself, Caden Amarine, and Chad Soltz on the West Coast, and Jack Chambers and Jonah Geisler on the East Coast.
And are you guys going to be doing outdoors as well, or is this Supercross only? Okay,
yeah, we'll do the full outdoor season, and so we'll be around all year long.
What do you prefer? Do you like outdoors more than Supercross, or vice versa?
Oh, that's tough.
If there's only one series, if you had to pick one or the other, which discipline would you like more?
I don't know. I've always been a really technical rider, and I've always liked jumps. I've been a jumper since I got on the bike. So I would probably say Supercross. I struggled in the last couple of years in Supercross with injuries and whatnot. So, and I'm starting to build this year. I'm definitely feeling better on the bike, even though my results haven't showed it. I went out and did some 450 rounds just to get some more gate drops, because when I raced Anaheim 2, I was a little hesitant when it got into the racing. I was riding a little defensively, and so I wanted to get more comfortable with the chaos, and so I jumped in the 450 class and did a few rounds and definitely improved my racecraft. And I was disappointed I wasn't able to show it this last weekend, but I'm excited to keep at it. I'm gonna go race Daytona on the 450 as well, and just and
Nice.
keep building. But I would probably have to say Supercross. I do love outdoors, and I love the grit and the gnarliness of it. Late in the moto, like battling, and when you catch and pass guys due to fitness, that's pretty rad. You don't really see it too much in Supercross like that, but yeah, outdoors is just a whole nother animal. It's hard to compare.
Speaking of last week, walk us through this like minute 20, bro. Because like you go down in the whoops and you're like, that was a slam, and then you go down that rhythm lane. And I'm just like, it was kind of weird too. Were you, that first time you went off the track and we had the clip, you jumped right. Did you cross rut there, or were you trying to avoid a rider that was in front of you, and then you obviously just went a little too far? What happened there?
Yeah, it's kind of like a cross rut, but they actually had prepped the track. This dirt's super soft all day, and the dirt was great there. But like I said, it was really, really soft throughout the day. And so the only thing that really makes sense to me is when they prepped it, like if you just drug dirt over ruts,
Okay.
it could have just been still soft or where the existing ruts were, and I landed on the side of it, and it just kind of pulled me.
So it doesn't pack into the rut. It's just a soft coating over top of it, basically.
I mean, I don't really know, even though like it was soft the first few runs we had on the track. So I don't know. That's just what my assumption is, that maybe I found an existing rut. And it just kind of pulled me right. That's and so I was really along for the ride. I didn't expect it. I just came in and I had a good first lap. I'd crashed in my heat race, so I had bad gate pick. I was far outside. Had a pretty good start, made some passes in the opening lap, and then came through that whoop section, was right on Luke, and then I doubled in and just it pulled me right, and I adjusted in the air, and I thought I was going to be good. I landed on one tough block, and that was like the big worry, because sometimes they'll grab you. And the next tough block caught my boot and just threw me into Superman. I honestly thought, like, when I was like full Superman, that I might be able to pull it off, like if I landed with my leg back over the seat,
like Cantanzaro in the straight rhythm
on the seat and slid off the left side, and then it was over.
Did it really ring your bell, or was it just I'm on the ground?
Well, he got up and kept racing.
Kept going. I just didn't know.
Yeah, so
because that wasn't the only one, right? Then it was after the finish.
Yeah. It was after that, yeah. Then the whoop section, and then that one looked like it was that rung your bell.
Yeah, that one did not look soft.
Yeah, so the second one is one that actually hurt. The first one didn't hurt at all. I had so much adrenaline going, and I was so fired up, and obviously angry, and so I crashed on the first one, and honestly, looking back, it looked way more abrupt than it felt. Like it looked like it ripped my neck real hard and whatnot, but none of that really mattered. I jumped up. The front end was a little bit tweaked, but I knew that like if I got going, anything can happen in the LCQ.
Yeah.
So I got going again, and I was gonna fight through and get some more passes done, and came into the whoops behind one of my buddies, and towards the end of it, it was McCullen Heil in front of me, and towards the end of it, I kind of like ran up on him right at the back end of him, and I'm not totally positive. I haven't really seen a full clip of the crash at the end, but I tagged the back of him. I don't know if he might have like got a little kick at the end, or if I just came in too hot or what, but I tagged his rear tire, and it just slammed me into the base of the berm. And then Chris Howell was skimming him behind me, or I don't know how fast he came out of him, but then he ended up running me over. And so I'm hurting from that a little bit, but all healthy. Like I said, I'm riding today, so that's good. But I did take a couple days off to get all recovered.
It's pretty nasty.
You kind of touched on it a little bit. Like you mentioned, anything can happen in an LCQ, and I'm glad to see after even something like that, even maybe twice, that you're still picking it up and going again. I mean, I think for a lot of people, and you would know better than any of us, in an LCQ, it feels like you've got one shot, and if you make one mistake, it's all gone. I mean, what's your mentality if that mistake does happen and you do find yourself on the ground? Are you just it's probably a combination of both, like one, anything can happen and you're just going to try and still qualify, but is it more so just to get the extra experience on the track? Or I don't know, run me through your mentality there a little bit if something does go not quite as planned.
Well, first off, I don't want to be in them ever, but when you do find yourself in them, you do feel kind of like it's a one-shot thing. Like if you make a big mistake, it could be over, but it really depends, like how you are on the bike that day and how you're racing. Like this season, I feel really strong on the bike. I've been building throughout the season, so after I'd went down, I was obviously frustrated, but I got up knowing that, there could be a takeout and sometimes 2-3 guys go down, and next thing you know, you went from 7th to 4th. And so there's things like that could always happen, but I kind of just wanted to get up and still race. I mean, I don't want to give up on it and whatnot, but also, like you said, the experience and get more laps. Like, I lack a little bit of experience from the last 2 seasons, getting hurt a few times and not really getting all the gate drops. So getting up and still doing my best for sure is number one, but also, if you get up and you just keep digging, you could find yourself back in it.
For sure. Now, from moving on from when you find yourself in the dirt, how about let's transition to, I want to know a racer's perspective or Supercross racer's perspective when maybe you're a guy that's leaving people on the ground in the dirt like Jason or Barsha. Because for us, we've had quite a bit of talk and controversy over the recent probation for Anderson and whether it's fair or not, especially when Barsha comes out last weekend and seems to be acting the same way and not getting the same sort of treatment. Run me through, if you were in Anderson's shoes, do you feel like they're playing a little unfair? And if you don't feel comfortable answering it, don't want the AMA on your tail, then no worries. But yeah, if you were in Anderson's shoes, do you feel like they are kind of picking favorites a little bit?
I mean, it's so hard to say. I mean, it definitely would be, I think the hardest position to be in would be the AMA's position, because you have so many different people coming at them with all that. And
sure,
obviously they don't want dirty riding and the aggressive stuff, but it's also what sells tickets, So I have an interesting opinion on it. I mean, obviously you don't want to be dangerous, but I think rubbin's racing. And sometimes you gotta get a little close and aggressive to stick passes, depending on the track as well. Like this track this last weekend kind of favored some aggressive passes. It was hard to pass. The whoops were obviously a big passing spot, but
did you see Barsha? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, did you see when Barsha took out AC? Did you see that pass?
Yep.
Where does that stand in your book? Because I think a lot of people see the Anderson Barsha stuff, then they see Barsha do that to AC, and they just think, well, what's the difference?
I don't think the pass that Barsha had on AC was like crazy aggressive or anything. He wasn't trying to hurt him. He wasn't like, it wasn't like, it was aggressive, no doubt. And
but not endangering anybody is what you mean.
Positioning himself to, for like no retaliation in the next turn. Like he was going to use up all the track. I think it also caught Adam off guard. I don't know if he like anticipated it just happening that quick. So he just kind of slowly went down into the blocks. Which sucks, because then it cost Adam some good positions. But I don't think that was like probation, like worthy. But also I don't think, I mean, I know the pass that Anderson had on Barsha where was it, San Diego, where he slid in and tapped his front tire. That wasn't like crazy, like it's not like he just T-boned him or anything. It was definitely like a takeout for sure, but I don't know. It's hard because both those guys are the aggressive riders, and they do have a sheet of riders they put on the ground with their passes, but I didn't see any crazy T-bones, so I don't know. I don't know about the whole probation stuff.
No, I appreciate that perspective, and I guess I've been so focused on the riders, and I'm glad you bring up the AMA and like how difficult it would be for them to be even making these decisions. That's not really something.
But the thing is, though, is Anderson's been vocal against the AMA. Yeah. And from what I heard, after the race, he literally told the AMA, like, I took him out. Like, he verbally said, like, I purposely did that to Barsha. So I don't know.
I'd have to imagine that the AMA's main goal is to make sure that nobody's endangering each other or any other racers, and so that would make more sense.
Well, they probably want to settle down some beef too, because like they don't want two guys trying to grenade each other on the track. So, all right. Well, look, Max. Last question we have for you. So with this whole championship right now, with as surprisingly as many times as Chase Sexton has hit the deck this year and feel like he's blown it, he's not far back from Tomac right now. Him and Cooper right there. Who would you pick as your title favorite as of right now? Do you think Tomac has got the mental edge and the maturity, and Sexton's still learning, or is Coop going to do it?
I don't know. It's really tough for me to make those decisions. I don't know Eli like personally. I know Coop a little bit and I know Chase a little bit. So I got to ride with Chase a little bit during outdoors. I went and rode at Rattrays, and that was cool to watch him and be able to ride with him. But it's just so tough because Chase is such a great rider. I don't know where these little mistakes are coming from, but obviously it's just the most minor little mishap. So it's tough to count any of them out because Coop seems like he's a diesel engine and he's warming up right now. He kind of started the season a little bit slow. It seemed like he was quiet. And then these last few rounds, he's been firing off pretty good. So, and it's going more east now. So that's kind of where he's the strongest. So I don't know. It's really tough for me to say. I would like to say to see Sexton to figure it out and make the championship a little more exciting. But and it would tie them all up so it'd be 3 dudes running into the next season with championships under their belt. So I think I'd want to see Chase win it.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I think is going to happen. I have no idea. All 3 of those guys are just, you can't bet against them.
Okay. For sure.
Interesting.
That's a fair perspective.
You know what I would want? You know what I think is crazy, though, is when you have riders like Tomac, Sexton, and Webb, those 3 guys ride the bike so differently.
True.
But yet somehow, it's just crazy when you can take the top guys, right? Barsha revs the crap out of the bike. Tomac is just gnarly. And then you have Sexton and Kenny where it's like you probably don't hardly hear their bikes around the track. But yet somehow at the end of the day, they're all coming over the finish line within a second of each other. It's pretty mind-boggling that different techniques guys ride it, but at the end of the day, speed-wise, it all just kind of equals itself out. Yeah. It's kind of interesting.
Well, thank you so much, Max, for tuning in. We can hear bikes in the background. Have you ridden today yet? Have you even put your gear on?
Yeah, no, I've done 2 motos. I got another moto going out right now. It's just myself and Pierce Brown out here.
Oh, cool.
Turning laps. And so, so he just started his last moto. It's raining a little bit right now, so hopefully it cuts out. It's rained each of our motos. It'll be nice for a little bit, and then it'll rain about halfway through. But yeah, he's coming by right now. Like I said, it's a long lap time, so he's only done a few laps.
You tell Pierce I'm a little upset with him when you talk to him because he's from Utah, and I've tried to get him to call in, and he always tells me it doesn't work with his schedule. Yet here you are riding motos with him out in California right now.
That's true. Yeah, you got to give him some crap for that.
You tell him we're a little upset with him right now.
I mean, I am missing the start of our moto. Will Hahn isn't here today to crack the whip.
I see.
But Pierce does have his team manager Max Lee here, so I don't know where it lies for him to be able to cut the day in half and kind of work around it. But I'm stoked I was able to get on the show with you guys, and I appreciate you guys getting me to call in. And now it's starting to rain a little bit harder, but we're probably going to have to just go dig through it real quick.
Hopefully it lightens up, but if not, be safe.
Well, hey, we appreciate taking the time to do it.
Yes,
get back out to do your motos, and best of luck when we see you on the track again.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you very much. See you guys.
All right, see ya.
Awesome. That was great. I'm jealous. I want to be riding a dirt bike right now with
sand tracks out in California.
Light rain.
Hey, all right, let's get into it here. Let's just, track map. Levi, let's get that up here.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about the track here.
We're going to blaze through it here.
It's not super complicated. It's a shorter track.
I was looking at it. I was trying to figure out like what's going to be a separator. I mean, there's a straight sand section again, but just looking at it.
I missed that.
Yeah, there's a straight sand section. Levi, we have the track map. There it is. We dug it up.
Very nice.
Oh, I was looking at the wrong track then. There is no sand section.
I was going to say, I didn't see any sand section. I did notice another decent amount of bowl turns, which I can always appreciate. Like, we need some passing areas, is what I mean by that.
Dude, I think I was looking at the wrong track map this whole time. I was like, I think there's a sand.
You're probably thinking of Daytona, bud. It's hard to...
I said, another straight sand
For some reason, they're at a speedway in Arlington.
What's going on? Okay, well, looking at it, I don't know. I mean, hey, you never know. Webb found that sneaky line last week. Yeah. Where he's doing that quad over the table.
Oh, I loved seeing something like that. Just completely different. This start, they're almost using the entire length of the track for their start here.
I like longer starts.
Yeah, no, so do I.
I just feel like the riders separate a little bit more.
I hate just that bunched up. Let's get that back up there, Levi. I hate just seeing such a bunched up I mean, they're going to bunch up no matter what.
Right.
But like last weekend, that's not my favorite.
The thing about the start, though, is like when you're watching it on TV, like the start's when like your adrenaline's really going, right? And you've got your eye on your favorite rider or whatever. And so when you have a longer start, it gives you more time to like see, oh, so-and-so's got the jump or this guy's pulling out.
Yeah.
So it allows you kind of to like dissect the start as it's happening.
Agree.
But when you have a short start, it's like gate drop.
There's the first,
there's the
guy
first
to the
turn.
corner.
He's already in the corner.
Yeah,
and you're just like, it doesn't, so it's hard to really digest what's
sure.
going on with the starts. That's all.
No, I totally agree. So
All right.
it should be sweet.
All right.
You want to get into some stats?
Yeah, let's talk about this here real quick. Hey, Levi, will you throw up the chart, the best finishers in the game right now for the Triple Crowns?
Let's talk about some of that stuff. Long starts equals a Tomac hole shot, says Tellis.
I mean,
really
pretty
much anything seems like a Tomac hole shot. He's had
that dude has turned it
or
around,
at least a
with the
decent
starts.
start.
Yeah, throw it up there real quick. So here is your in order of best finishers from the A2 Triple Crown. So Sexton won that one.
Just A2. So
just
that would
A2.
explain Tomac being so far down. I would, just immediately put Tomac much higher than where he is in this.
But here's the deal.
This chart.
Tomac, you know what's interesting is Tomac still this year does not have a third or a second overall.
It's win or bust.
He's either gone win, fifth, or sixth.
Yep.
But he's your points leader.
He is your points leader. He's
so
got the most wins.
Yeah.
How about starters? Do we have the same thing for starters? Let's get that up.
This will be interesting.
And this again is just Triple Crowns.
Triple Crowns,
Yep.
yeah.
Sexton, just when it comes to the numbers,
Tomac is surprisingly far back. But
Yeah.
I mean, Sexton's starts have been so good. I mean,
It's
he has the
ridiculous.
best average overall start this year, not just Triple Crowns.
when I was
Like-
looking at all our stats, Sexton's leading besides championship points and race wins. He's leading everything else, I think.
Almost, other than best lap position, average lap position after laps 10 and 15.
When we start getting into the dates.
But that's important to know for
Yes,
Triple
it
Crowns,
is.
though.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you bringing it up.
Because, I mean, shorter mains this week. You got 3 12-minute mains. All of Sexton's crashes, well, he did crash in one of those Triple Crown races.
Sexton?
Yeah.
I think the second
But
one.
his last 2 big bobbles have been late in the mains. If they were 12-minute main events, Sexton wins both of those. So it's like, is this, and his only win this year has been the Triple Crown. So is the Triple Crown,
That's his format.
because the thing is, like, Sexton qualifies first, right? He qualifies fastest by a second.
If he
And
doesn't this weekend,
and he's led almost
be
as many,
so
as
surprised.
many laps as Tomac this
he's
year.
led more, I think, now.
Has he?
Yeah,
Led
I think
more?
he passed
Okay.
him with last weekend.
So your heart will always tell you to put Sexton in first when you probably know
But
better.
I'm over it.
Are you?
I mean, I've been over it, and luckily I've been.
But then again, I see the Triple Crown. I'm like, oh, dude, like it's shorter mains, blah blah blah. And then I'm just like, wait a minute, pump the brakes. I don't know, because even in the Triple Crown, he went down.
Yeah, it's true. This,
only rider
this
who-
guy kind of took Sexton's role at the last Triple Crown, like with a big mistake. But that's what I'm predicting.
But here's the big difference, though. Tomac made the big mistake because he was impatient.
Okay. Yeah,
wanted to get
Not
around
leading
Webb.
with literally
Tomac
no
doesn't make
pressure.
that mistake if he's leading
I agree.
and there's
Very
nobody
good
in
point.
front of him.
Yep.
Totally different if you ask
No,
me.
I agree.
Okay.
But I'm not getting off the Tomac train until.
But here's the thing, though. Tomac has been freaking. The last A2 was not the best Triple Crown because of that. But
Are you hopping into his stats?
yeah,
should we get that up on the?
Let's
on
get
the
it up
screen?
here real quick. I mean, here's what it kind of shook me a little bit. So going back to last year, his average finish in Triple Crown mains is 2.1, excluding his 13th at A2. So, and then in 2020, he had the best average finish. Out of 8 gate drops this year, he hasn't started worse than 7th after lap 1. So, dude, he's got to be your guy to win.
About when Triple Crown main ends is that lap 15. So, yeah, according to the best average position, he's more your guy than Sexton even. By the way, yeah, we're aware that first bullet point is one of those 6 should be a 5th, by the way. But
and then okay, also, I mean, going back, you can't tell me at this point, if you watch the post-race conference last week,
oof.
Have you ever seen a rider, a.k.a. Chase Sexton, ever look just so
Over it?
bothered?
Can you blame him?
Well, no.
Holy.
Well, I know, but it's like, I'm sorry. At this point, I just don't, you can't convince me that if Chase Sexton is leading another main event, Triple
he's
Crown
not
or regular,
gonna throw it away.
that he's not going to throw it away, that he's not thinking,
Oh, sure.
don't screw this up again. Because Tomac and Webb don't get out front and then think like, dude, just don't
go
throw it away.
TP.
Don't throw it away. Like, but Is Sexton, can he even do that at this point?
That's a good
Does
question.
he have this demon that he's just not shaking?
It's only getting worse with every time it happens.
Exactly. And this is so many times now. I'm like, dude, it's got to be in the back of your
You're
head.
absolutely right that I don't think he can shake the thought, but I do have to, and we touched on it a little bit with the press conference from last weekend. These journalists got to figure something else out. It was driving me nuts, almost as much as it probably drove Chase crazy, as well as these two. They have to all be sitting up there like, come up with an original question. Like, how many times do we need to touch on?
Hit us up in the chat. If you watch the post-race press conference, I agree, man. And why are they showing that? We're getting a little off topic here, but I don't care. Why are we showing like 5 minutes of awkward silence
at the beginning?
Yeah. When like the ride, nobody's talking, you can hear people coughing. It's just like, and then you're trying to skip through to when they actually start the press conference. Yeah, I'm just like, it just seems like a super big afterthought.
No,
I don't know.
They definitely are. And I mean, to be honest, I didn't pay too much attention to them until about 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, in the Dungy, Villapoto era, I'd listen to highlights, but I'm not going and watching the whole press conference. But if they're going to continue to be the way they are, I have zero interest. I can already tell you what it's going to be. It's going to be 25 questions about Sexton, run us through your crash again. And yeah, it drives me crazy. But.
Well, I think one of them even asked Tomac about his last crash.
Oh, true.
The week before. I'm just like, that's so old news. Like, he's not hurt.
Donald. This doesn't help Chase's case either. Donald brought, and I had the same thought. They had a replay compilation of Chase's crashes ready to go. They were anticipating it happening again. Oh. Either they whipped it up super quick.
That good?
Yeah, they're just Betty Crocker. Or they...
well, good one.
Yeah. You're like, that? Okay. It wasn't that good.
But you're right, though. At this stage... They planned
knew
this
it was
stuff
coming. I would imagine that they had it
They need
ready.
talking points. They want to have a headline. They want to have a story. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, at this point, it is Chase Sexton throwing away leads. And so, yeah, if you're Sexton, you're just like, this is not good.
Yep. Like, it wasn't even 2-3 minutes, I swear, after he threw it away that they were like, run it. All 5 or 6 times that he's done this year.
Oh, yeah. Carter said they had that ready fast. I agree.
I skipped the press conferences and watched the How Was Your Weekends. Yeah, that's much better. I mean, honestly, like Vital's interview with Sexton after gave so much more insight than the press conference. I'm like, does this not seem...
Yeah.
How do you guys not see this as an issue?
All right. Cooper Webb. What are you going to do with him?
I got him in second.
Who we got a poll right now? Who's your pick to win? You have in second?
Yeah, I've got Cooper in second. He's typical Baker's factory bred KTM rider, just very, very consistent right now.
Yeah.
And I just have a feeling that he's not going to be off the podium in all 3 of those main events.
No, I don't put him off the podium. The thing that's with Coop is just he doesn't have the raw sprint speed. I think as much as a Tomac or a Sexton.
So you think if he
I just
gets
think
a bad
like
start, he's not making that up?
If he starts behind Tomac and Sexton, I just don't see him beating both of them. Whereas Tomac or Sexton, I could see going through the other two.
Yeah. And you bring this up because you probably have Sexton in second as opposed to Webb, right? I'm anticipating Sexton throwing it away in one of the mains.
I do have Sexton in second, but the reason is just because they are shorter. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, that's like a heart pick because I had him first. Yeah.
Mine's a heart pick? Or yours?
No, mine is with Sexton, I guess, in second.
They kind of both are.
Because I had Webb second last week, and then, I don't know. Where does everyone put Sexton? Right now, 56% of the votes are going to Tomac right now.
Are you guys putting him in second? I'd be curious. If we don't have a poll going currently, let's get that. Where does Sexton go in your picks?
See, when's Anderson going to freaking figure this out? I mean, Webb, his last 5 starts been 4-3-5. 1-2. Hey, do we have the we'll have to find it. Dr. JB's got his chart that shows all the stats of how they compare with average start and all their lap positions.
I don't know if we have that one booted up to the software, but we can look at it. I think I've got the Discord on here.
Okay.
What was standing out to you there?
Well, just that Webb's only led 5 laps. Mm-hmm. So what's a safer bet? To pick a guy that's only led 5 laps or to pick a guy who's led the most laps but had some crashes in a Triple Crown?
Because he's had a crash every single
weekend.
But
it's just like that Chase Sexton is going to lead laps. Like that.
Yeah, without a doubt.
He's going to lead laps. So do you bank on him not having an
leading
issue.
laps, the only time that matters is if it's on the last lap.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, but it's if Sexton's leading laps, like I don't know.
It's hard.
I'm leaving him in there.
It's difficult.
Leaving him in there.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Sexton for the win. He can go 12 with no mistakes. Okay, I don't know.
Can he do it 3 times,
Ooh,
though?
I don't know. I don't know. But I agree, though. I heard another show talk about this. I heard a guy who heard from a guy, that someone in another team said, if Chase can rattle off a couple wins and figure this thing out,
game over for the
look
rest.
out.
Yeah,
look out.
We've all known
agree with that.
We've all known that, but last year we were saying exactly that. If Sexton can win 1, win 2, the rest of the field is done.
But look what he did in outdoors, right? Once he started winning, dude, he went on a streak. I don't think we mean to beat a dead horse here. But the other thing too, though, is he's made a lot of these mistakes with zero pressure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're completely on his own for sure. Webb helped him out in Tampa.
A little bit.
Okay. Should we take the limelight off these guys for a minute?
Yeah, because that's your podium, guaranteed.
Without a doubt.
The real question is, where are you going to put Anderson?
Here's my question. Who's in front of who, Anderson or AP? For
you and I have these the same?
I think we had them the same. I've got Anderson and then
I've got Anderson AP. I've got AP 5th, which, I mean, okay. Since Anaheim 2 for Plessinger, where he went 8-7-8, he's gone 4-3-4.
Yeah, he hasn't finished outside the top 5.
Was outside the top 4, not since Anaheim 2. So he's gone 3 rounds, 4th or better, and his starts have been 2-3-6. So AP has figured something out here.
Yes, he has.
And his confidence.
I'm pumped to see it.
I agree with Stuart Baylor from last week that running up front and leading laps are 2 different levels in a Supercross race. But AP is in that 3rd, 4th, or that 4th. I mean, he could be in that 3rd place level, but that 4th, 5th range, like he is solid right now.
But if he gets a good start at a Triple Crown, and it is that sprint that matters, dude could win a Triple Crown main for sure.
Yeah.
He could do it.
He could. I mean, he could
Anderson
win one of them.
did it at A2, yeah? He's got a Triple Crown. He's got a main event
he
win
won
being
one
at
of
the
them.
Triple Crown, but he hasn't won a main outside of that.
Did he crash in one of the others, though?
Crashed or
something happened at A2, if you guys have a reminder.
Hard to remember now. But, yeah, I think it's still hard for me to put AP above Anderson when you're averaging three main events.
Yeah, people are asking about Roxon.
Roxon, unfortunately, last
weekend,
he looked like the old K-Rock.
Yeah,
he looked like last year's K-Rock. I miss the old K-Rock.
Oh, can Sexton go the rest of the season? No. That's a simple question.
What's this question? Can Sexton go the rest of the season
without crashing? Ooh. No. And here's why. Well, the thing is, too, is like, look at outdoors. Like, these guys are pushing, like, Sexton and Tomac have raised the level of racing from outdoors, and I feel like even in the Supercross season, to where they're pushing so hard. Like, look at Tomac behind Webb.
Oh, that's what he was. What I mean? Like, this guy's Webb has taken a while to catch up to this level.
Yeah, he is now getting to that speed, right? But it's just when you're running at that speed, and here's the thing too, though, is Tomac has proven and shown us that he's willing to back it down. Sexton's not quite there yet. I feel like Sexton's like, I'm just going to go as fast as I can, regardless of like how comfortable I feel, and see what happens. I don't know. But Anderson, what do you do with this guy? Look, his only win so far was one of the mains at a Triple Crown.
He's won a heat or 2. He's won 2 heats, I think.
I know, but he
got 3rd in Arlington in 2020. I mean, a different bike. This was a while ago.
Well, it was a Triple Crown at Arlington.
Yeah,
and he didn't finish outside the top 5 in all 3. But I don't know. It's even if Anderson doesn't crash, I just don't feel like we're seeing the same Jason Anderson we saw last year.
He's not going to contend for the win for me.
Okay.
Yeah, his biggest competition to me is AP for that 4th spot
right now.
I don't think Anderson has enough.
Is there anybody else
top 3
out of those 5 that you feel like could crack the top 5?
For me, after last week's showing, not Roxon.
Barsha's starts have been terrible. He went 11.86 at A2. His average start per gate drop is 9.63. I put Barf there.
Yeah, big Barf.
And his average lap position in all main events this year is at lap 10 is 9.8.
What?
And they're 12-minute mains. So it's
kind of the wild card watch.
So no faith going off of that. Kenny, Out of 8 gate drops, he's only finished in the top 5, 6. Well, he's been in the top 5, 6 times out of 8 gate drops.
Yeah, but it's just what we've seen recently.
Is that one bad round going to just ruin it for everybody?
He definitely has some bike issues going on.
I mean, look, he went 2, 3, 4 at A2 for a Triple Crown. Maybe I don't know. Kenny, we know, is really picky with the bike, super sensitive. So is he down the rabbit hole
for
right
Kenny?
now?
It has to be phenomenal qualifying. He's got to be top 5 at least. Other than that, because then that proves to me, he's got some bike changes that are working.
Yeah.
If I don't see that, then no, I'm not putting him in the top 5.
I think a Triple Crown obviously favors Kenny to have better results because he got the podium there. But is he just down the rabbit hole with the bike? To where he switched. Was last weekend that first weekend after he had switched suspension companies?
I think that was his first.
Yeah, he dropped Factory Connection, and then I don't remember who he brought in, and then just has the worst, by far the worst race of his season.
Yep.
So I kind of feel like Kenny's down a rabbit hole right now with the bike, not comfortable on it, trying to figure things out. And at this point in the season, if you haven't figured your bike out by now, it's probably sayonara.
Yeah, like I said, I don't see veering away from these two unless he's the only guy that could probably take one of these spots, and unless he's looking good in qualifying, it's not happening for me. So, but okay, we've kind of had this discussion. What, as far as stats go, we know who's going to be in the top 5 for the most part, but a wild card. This has been frustrating. And as far as stats, I feel like we've been predicting
Justin Hill.
He's been in the wild card for 90%.
AC took it on the last lap last week.
Yep. Okay. Justin has been there for 90% of the race, and then just last lap shenanigans. But let's talk about some wild card potential racers.
Real quick, one thing I did find interesting is, and I thought it was a great question because, it was more just crapping on Chase again, but somebody asked Tomac, is like, hey, is what Chase is doing right now reminiscent of what happened with you and Dunge? Like, where you just couldn't.
You were talking.
You were
about
faster,
that.
but you just couldn't figure. Someone asked in the press conference, and Tomac was just like, well,
he's not going to come out and be like.
Tomac even felt bad for Sexton at one point because I think someone was talking about it, but Tomac was like, yeah. I expected any one of us to crash at that point. I think they're almost feel bad for Chase.
Okay. He took the hit and
a little bit. I don't know. Okay,
Tomac's a good guy for doing something like that. That sounds like Tomac though.
Wild card
class act. Cianciarulo has moved down from our spoilers. I think is where we've had him usually to the wild card. He's trending downward.
Bad.
Unfortunately.
What's going on with him? Is he hurt?
You put in quotations. Yeah, is he hurt? In parentheses,
he's gotten worse 4 races in a row.
I'm like, how else? Him and Kenny are very similar in that they depend so much on their mental, and I just feel like he's also just in Wonderland with this. Well, he's Terrorland.
His results have been so poor that you just don't even realize where he's at. Yep. I mean. But look at that, 9, 10, 12, 15.
Yeah, that puts him. Wild card is 13th, by the way, this weekend. I know we've been.
Barsha didn't help him with that 15th.
No, didn't help him.
But he was still
before
fading.
That 12th. Before that 10th. He's still around there. Unfortunately, I hope that we see him turn it around. If he goes any lower than 15th, then I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. How about Colt Nichols though?
Colt Nichols is a fantastic pick for this.
At the start of the year, I had more
high hopes.
Is AC still strong with the nerve issue? That's a question people are asking.
It very well could be. And he might be publicly just scared to bring that up again because he's just people are just going to.
It's going to be the same old, same old.
Backlash is not going to be good, which just sucks that that's even the.
Because even if he is having that issue, it would be like Kenny all of a sudden coming out saying, my health. Yeah. People would be like, here we go again. Even if it's the case.
Which.
Yeah, the fans are just going to be like, dude, we're tired of this.
Doesn't want to hear it.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Sucks. Yeah, it really is unfortunate. And honestly, that very well could be it. That sucks. I feel for the guys.
Okay, Nichols. His last 6 gate drops. So, surprisingly, his average is 11.6. Mm-hmm. And he's finished within 2 spots of his qualifying 6 of the 8
that's a good
gate drops this year. And his qualifying is right around there. So look at his average qualifying.
He's only finished
12.
in the top 10 once. So yeah, he's in that bubble. And if I had to guess, it just seems like these last laps, it's changing it up every single time. So he would be a good pick for me in that something could happen last lap that he finds himself
he's,
there.
He's finishing within 2 spots of quality. So he's in the 10th to 14th range right now is Colt Nichols.
Interesting. Definitely could be him. I'm putting Wilson. Wilson seems to be just a like.
Well, he keeps getting arm pump or something.
Yeah,
it's like you can count on him to fade, even if he's running 10th.
Because before AC muffed up our wild card, it was Wilson the weekend before. His average finish is 12.13, so that is closer than Nichols. He's in a similar boat to Nichols, but his averages are even closer to this wild card spot. Look at that, though.
He has finished 13th or within one spot of 13th, 7 of 8 gate drops this year. And a lot of those, I feel like are later in the races. He's struggling with arm pump, and then he starts to drop back a little bit.
Oh, maybe this isn't the case for you, but I'm forgetting again that this is a Triple Crown, though. So keep that in mind.
At Anaheim, too, he was 13, 12, 12.
Yeah, so even more so, I would say Wilson than Nichols.
Okay.
Nichols, I think Nichols, when it comes to the averages, is going to be higher than 13.
Nichols is much more likely out of those 3 to get a better start.
Yes, which is
huge.
He's
ripped a few hole shots.
Yeah, that's a good point. So Wilson over Nichols for sure for me. That's who I've got in the spot right now.
So is Justin Hill?
Justin Hill is in that same exact spot. He's finished 13th in half of the gate drops. Finished 13th.
Yeah.
Started within 2 spots of 13th in 6 of those 8 gate drops.
He's starting right around 13th, and he's finishing on average around 13th.
And he's also qualified 13th or 14th.
There's a lot of 13s and 14s in there.
Yeah, I think your best bet with the wild card
Wilson or Hill
are Wilson and Hill.
Those two are going to be battling for the wild card.
Yes, they will.
It just sucks, though. Like, the only thing that's hard about the Triple Crown is during the mains.
It's impossible to know.
Well, it's easy because the announcers are going over all the math for you, like during the main event. But they're not telling you, like, if so-and-so finishes in 15th, he's going to get 13th overall. So it's really hard to know who got the wild card during Triple Crown.
Cross your fingers, be living right, say your prayers.
And since it is like that, a guy could go 13, 13, 14, and maybe not even get 13th overall.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. It's hard.
It can fluctuate so easily. So
third time's a charm for Justin Hill in the wild card.
You think so? You know what? The fact that I didn't put him there this weekend, you're probably right. And he will finally lock it in. But
all right. Well, I don't know. That's who I got. Let's see. I have Dean Wilson right now.
Same. Yep. We have all the same picks, but one with that Webb Sexton swap. But
okay, interesting.
Hopefully, those help you out somewhat. Like I said, top 5. We all know who's going to be there or should be there at this point. But with that wild card, I would definitely take these two into consideration. But let's get to the community a little bit with the memes.
You want to do that?
Yeah, you want to hop into the memes? Are we done with the? Yeah.
Okay.
Let's hop into the memes. So, okay, these are our hand-picked top 4 for the past little bit. You're voting. Obviously, it's as simple as you can get. Vote for 1, 2, 3, or 4. We'll get a poll going. The winner of this is getting a full, brand new MSR NXT gear set.
Yeah. But, Levi, do we have a lot of just the individual memes from the last week?
I think we're just focused on
we're just focused on those 4? There were so many of them.
There was plenty.
You need to hop on. The link to the Discord is in the description.
Check them all out.
Yeah.
There's some, like I've said,
there's too many
we can't show on our channel that you definitely want to see.
Yeah, we can't. We don't even have time to show them
both
all.
Both because of time and because of other reasons. But, man, there's good stuff.
Not saying I don't enjoy those.
Yeah,
but anyway.
There's some good stuff.
Yeah, the link to the Discord's in the description. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube channel. But go there because there we have bench racing. There's a chat. Dr. JB, he puts up all the stats there as well. So if you want to, and you guys can always go back and rewatch the show and look at the little graphics that we have. But Dr. JB is a stat king.
Shout out, every single weekend he's quick about it too.
In that stats, there's a really cool chart that you can look at that shows where each rider, like 1 through 12th or 10th overall, where each rider's average lap position is at lap 1, 5, 10, 15, and 20 thus far in the season. So it kind of helps you realize, like, this guy is in a better lap position on average than this rider by lap 10, and with a 12-minute main event, they're going to be doing 12 or 13 laps. So it changes it up a little bit for you.
Okay, Jet Rider, you said it enough. No, we did talk about it. Thanks for bringing it up. We can shout out Stu again. He called in, backed up his awesome phone call with a win at GNCC. But, yeah, Jet has been shouting that out in the chat. We got to give our boys some love.
Yes. He texted me right after the
incident.
Supercross, and then I was like, dude, well, don't do it to me. And
Please,
he's a big buck,
kidding.
dude.
No, he's the only guy that I would be scared to be a tree.
What an anomaly, though. I mean, we love Stewart. We sponsor his team.
Yeah.
But it's just like, if you look at the world of motocross racing, motocross, supercross, has there ever been a rider who looks more out of shape but can go win a 2-hour-plus race against some of the best riders in the world?
And the only reason I think it really, really works for him, now we're going down a whole other rabbit hole.
It's mind-boggling.
He brought up a good point in that style of racing is so much more explosive. When for me, when I think about training in a gym, besides not seat time for racing, I am a cardio guy. I want to be able to have a high heart rate for a long time, but he says he does weightlifting. He's more of an explosive guy, and that's why I feel like his
so those guys are obviously riding it not the
helps.
Like Sexton and Tomac and these guys are probably riding it like 90 to 100%.
Oh,
so are you saying like Stewart and those guys are at like a lower percentage that allows them to go longer?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Their 80% is 300% of the average rider's speed. But he said, and you have to. For 3 hours, you do have to.
Is it a 3-hour race?
Yeah, they race for 3 hours long.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, he talked about this explosiveness that you have to have. Like it's almost like some martial arts moves.
Well, Justin, our boss, was out there, and it was cool. He said that he had a guy that was like taking around side by side to all different parts of the course, just kind of see what's going on. Yep. So the day before the race, Justin said that Stewart was out there. It was interesting though. He said that Stewart is like spends all the riders, they go out and they can see the track. They ride their e-bikes out there and stuff. Mm-hmm. He said that Stewart was like on the track the longest. And his mechanic said he is the last guy to come off the track. Mm-hmm. Like he studies it insanely good and has these crazy lines that he picks out.
So even, the more rabbit hole. I think he's probably learned. I'm not going to guarantee that this is where it comes from, but the 6 days, the ISDE where they go, they spend a week. Literally, they're hiking hundreds of miles studying this because they can't ride it in that same way. I'm wondering if he's learning. I mean, that's always been a technique at GNCC, but even more so on that international level, learning like the return there is so great for studying line choice. And I mean, Tomac even, that's what I was mentioning in qualifying. I feel like Tomac takes advantage. Sorry for our meme poll. We're going to have to restart that revote. But I feel like Tomac takes advantage of the qualifying to really try and predict what's going to happen with the track more so than I don't need to set a heater. I need to know where I need to be on lap 15, 16 of the main event.
But it is funny, though, that Justin said that after all this is done, Stewart with a D, right?
Yes, Stewart Baylor.
Stewart, he says he comes back to his little pit after and he's drinking beers at night, like singing out. It's like, what a G.
What a life. Professional dirt bike racer.
Back to the memes. Let's get them up here.
Okay. These guys worked hard, and it proves you can see it. It shines through with these are funny. So, kind of playing off the same topics with Sexton going down and Barsha being Barsha, but they are funny.
It looks like number 2 actually swept the poll.
Okay. Yeah. Then let's.
47%
poll complete with Levi.
Listen, man, I had pressure
to end it when you ended it. Okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
Maybe that's the tradition. Maybe that's as many votes as we're going to take, so get them in while they're hot.
Get that many, and then you're done.
Everyone gets mad when I don't end it at 69.
It's true. I love it. There's going to be memes about that after.
Oh, gosh.
We're going to go get that tattooed
What
on
started
Levi.
out as a joke has just become like his...
Yep. I love it.
You
did it one time and it's stuck.
No, you did it more than once, bro. But look at that. Congratulations.
Number 2, he did sweep it 47%.
Throw that one up there.
Yeah.
This was honestly probably my favorite.
We showed this last show. It's fantastic, though. Justin
really
Barica.
good.
Did you notice that? Barica?
Oh. That makes it even better.
But it's a good one. They very much deserve it. Can you look at the name? Who made this? Should be in the folder.
There's been some good memes from Bird Box, dude.
Oh, yeah. You mean just that scene specifically?
Just the blindfold like that makes for just good memes in
general. The Discord username is Hawaley11. I don't know how to say that.
Okay.
Well, have you been reaching out on Discord for
you can do a shout out on the Discord, or you can just comment on the video too. But yeah, go to Discord. You can send a direct message.
Okay, I want to make sure they're our winner. Let's get you your
do
gear
it, do
if you're watching.
It doesn't hurt to say, hey, I was the winner in multiple spots. So if you go on the Discord, again, the link there is in the description. Yeah. There's the general chat. You could do it there. You can send a direct message to me or Kobe.
DM us on one of us on Discord.
But also comment on this video. If you're here live, you can say it now, or you can comment down below after this video is live.
But we'll get with you.
Leadhead.
Get some sizes.
It's okay. I said stew one time. Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, I know. So I didn't talk about this a couple of weeks ago. I referred to Jet as J-Law. Bruh.
Did you get heat for it?
Happy. Which, yeah, I'm aware which I have to agree that he probably doesn't deserve to steal another Jason's nickname. But wow, you got to be careful.
One's winning 250 titles. The other one went to prison for drugs.
I was gonna say that. I'm glad you did. I was like, if somebody deserves a nickname.
When you say J-Law though, like
that's what comes to mind.
That's what comes to mind. Is Lawrence? Jason Lawrence. Yep. I agree.
Anyway,
but it works.
Oh, good stuff. Thank you for everybody else who did post memes. I believe Gunny's always in there.
Yeah, he said he wasn't talking to me. He was talking to someone else.
Oh, okay. Get roasted.
Oh gosh.
But
okay.
Anyway,
yeah.
Can you let's just shout out all the other top picks because we got to give them.
Yeah. Who are the other users in there, Levi? Can we get those real quick?
We're making them sweat.
While Levi's working on that, let's get to our grand prizes here, and then we can lock them in real quick.
Sure. Oh man, this has been fun. I'm surprised it's already an hour.
I know.
Grand prizes. As always. We got some race prep KTMs up for grabs, people.
Yes, we do. Have those on our website right now.
If I wasn't having to run roll-offs this weekend or anticipating it.
And, bro, I'm just saying, the Chase Sexton, Eli Tomac colorways that are out, fire.
Oh,
I saw Kiefer wearing those this weekend. Fire.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, while you were shouting out the grand prizes, here's my top 5. And like I said, I got Wilson in this wild card. I am putting Webb ahead of Sexton. And honestly, yeah, I'm not going to change it after qualifying. Sexton, I already know where Sexton's going to be in qualifying. He's going to be up top, but locking him in. Your turn, my guy.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at this tweet from Dino Wilson. I guess he lost his shock, like shipped his suspension off or something. I don't know. Have to learn more about that.
Interesting.
So my picks are really similar. I'm going to go Tomac. Just all I'm doing is just swapping these two.
That's probably the more popular common picks. But you got to switch it up somewhere, right?
All right.
But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This has been super fun. Thank you again to Max Miller.
And then what'd you say the name of the meme winner was, Levi? Yeah. How'd you pronounce that incorrectly?
Huweli. I put the meme submissions in the chat there.
Oh, yeah. There they go.
Perfect. Nice. Okay. Yeah, so make sure you comment on the Discord or comment on the YouTube channel, and we'll get you your MSR gear set.
If you don't comment, I'll DM you on Discord. We'll get it figured out.
We'll figure it out.
Thank you for submitting those memes. Keep them coming. I love it. It's one of my favorite parts of the show. It's one of my favorite parts of Supercross. So tickets, we are giving them away from Daytona. It's actually our Monday stream from this week that I don't think we've selected the winners yet, so you might still have a chance. Go comment on the video for our Monday show.
Yeah.
Your top 3. I believe you had your top 3 for Daytona. We're giving away tickets to Daytona, and I'm pretty sure we haven't picked our girl Rachel. She usually picks them out. I don't think we've done it yet.
She'll get there.
But
make sure you're checking back.
So I'm just saying you have a chance.
Okay.
But there is a chance that she's already picked them, which...
Hey,
we told you, better luck next time. But if you do go comment there, please check back because she's ran into that many times where she goes to select some guys and they don't give her a response, and there goes your chance at tickets that you wanted. But anyway.
Well, hey, that's it. Good show. Thank you again to Max Miller for tuning in. Go follow him Follow him on Instagram.
I'm sure he's got merch too. Support all these privateers are bringing on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good kid. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. That's all from me.
Yeah, we'll have fun watching the races.
Good luck.
Check back on Monday. We're going to do some bench racing on it. So